This is your last chance to get a supercharged V8 Land Rover. The Land Rover here in downtown Salt Lake is providing us with this Defender. They've got this one available for sale, so if you're interested, link to the website in the description down below. Powering this is a 5-liter supercharged V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 14 around town, 18 on the highway, with power outputs being 493 horsepower and then 450 pound-feet of torque. If you're looking for more straight-to-the-point reviews like this, make sure you subscribe. Now this is the new Woolstone Green, finished with the satin PPF. It looks fantastic in person. You've got the checker plates. You can see down below with the headlights. Again, you got the daytime running lights that kind of make a little half circle around them. Fog lights down below. This is all nicely painted in black. And I do think this is one of the better colors that Land Rover has released on the Defender. I do like the new Barasco gray too though. 275 by 45 by 22 for the tire and wheel setup. You can get these with, you know, kind of more of an off-road tire setup, but it's something to know with the V8s, 20-inch wheels, that's the smallest you can go because of the brakes. And then we do have 4-corner air suspension with this as well. Got the vents there on the side. Unfortunately with the V8, because it's not turbocharged, raised air intake's not a thing. Anyways, we've got the blacked out mirror caps. The roof is also blacked out. And just look at this side profile. It's cool looking. Land Rover there in the back of the key fob. On the front face we have our lock and unlock. You got that to turn on the lights, unlock the rear swing gate. And if we pop into the rear here, very easy to open. Got a little bit of storage right here. We have an outlet in the back. You can see with the little climate control there in the back, which I just find funny. You used to be able to get these with third row, but now the 110s are just a 2-row. Anyways, it is pretty spacious, especially with the vertical element. And then you have this to raise and lower the rear air suspension. And then underneath you got this that's very easy to clean. And out of swing gates, this is one of the easier ones to open and close. Smoked out taillights, that's all the Defenders now. I'll give you guys an exhaust clip, of course. It's necessary. And then you got the spare tire cover. And the V8, just like other Defenders, can tow about 8,000 pounds, but let's get to that exhaust note. Let's now take a look inside. Regular glass in the back, and then I love the tan that this has. Legroom here in the back, it's good. Got a little storage pocket, got our own climate zone. You can see the USB ports as well. And these seats, very comfortable, they're nice looking too. You also have the windows up top to let in more light, and then panoramic center. Keyless entry for up front, and let's check that out. Blind spot monitoring, regular glass up front, and then look at this. All of our window controls, you got your mirror adjustments, memory seats. Payload on all the Defenders says 825, so I'm not even gonna look at the sticker anymore. But yeah, look at the seats. Got your power adjustments and lumbar support on the side. Now the steering wheel on the Defenders, just got a cool rugged design. Got a bunch of practical controls in the front face, including for your cruise control. You got your heated steering wheel there. Got controls for the center stack to change that. And then you see the regular stocks on the back. And then full digital cluster. You can switch between 1 dial and 2 dial with this. So somewhat customizable. And you can also show like navigation and all of that. And then we do have a heads-up display. Kind of hard to see though. 360 camera. So, and you also have like an off-road view, towing. And the cool thing about the V8s is they all come with the rear diff lock. So makes it more capable off-road. And you know, that also helps out with like snow and everything, just to Defenders all have a good all-wheel drive system, but four-wheel drive system I should say. Yeah, the response time of the screen's pretty darn good, and unlike a lot of other competitors, this still has plenty of physical controls. You got the shifter here, and then you've got buttons for like the heated and ventilated seats, change the fan speed, and then also the drive modes are built into that dial. Air suspension adjustment, you've got hill descent, we also have our low range, and then the center console is really good. Tons of storage space with it. There's a phone charging pad, cool box, center console, and then nice trim. Again, feels very premium. That's the thing I love about Land Rover interiors. And then we do have a camera rear view mirror, and like I said earlier, big sunroof. 2026 Defender X Dynamic SC. Already reviewed one of these, but gotta talk about how it's going away. This one, after all options and everything, and again, it's got a lot added to it. Base MSRP is $99. But yeah, $121,496. So with that being said, let's take this out, see how it performs. So V8 Defender 50V. Now you'll obviously still be able to get the V8 in the Octa with the Defender, and then, you know, the full size and the Sport also offers the same twin turbo V8 that's in the Octa. But yeah, the supercharged V8 is going away. Now, I think that I might be a little bit less emotional compared to most people about Land Rover getting rid of the 5.0 V8, because although this is a really fun engine, it's loud, it's rowdy, it's reliable too. You do have to, you know, supercharged V8s, you gotta change the oil a little bit more often. They're kind of like turbo engines where they just go through fluids kind of a quicker rate. But that aside, right, the power's good and the sound is amazing. The inline six is so good in the Defenders. It is so good. And I've talked about this ad nauseum, where you drive the inline six and you don't really feel like you're missing out compared to the V8 when it comes to the power delivery. Now, you do feel out a little bit on the top end, and then obviously the sound, but the inline six is also very efficient for the type of vehicle, and so I find the inline six to be so appealing that, yeah, I don't mind that they're getting rid of the V8 personally. And, you know, on top of that, what they're doing is they're getting rid of the 4-cylinder, and so it's going to be low output inline six than the regular inline six, and then, you know, Octa. I think that makes sense, honestly. Now, if they kept the V8 around for low production, could work out. But that's the thing that's hard, is when you're not producing, we're not using an engine in super high volume, right? The engines become kind of more expensive. So that is kind of one downside. Man, it's just smooth with the power delivery. It's a really, like with the 8-speed, it's a great powertrain setup. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. I just think this is one of those cases where, like, I think enthusiasts, sorry, I realized that was on the whole time. I think enthusiasts will miss it, and me included, but yeah, like I said, that inline six is so sharp. The torque that you get, the fuel economy, and the fact that you can get it with the raised air intake, and that, I like V8 noises, but I also like turbo noises and raised air intake noises. So it's like I can kind of go either way. And I think that'll also kind of make the Octa feel, man, that's probably why they're doing it, is that will really make the Octa feel more valuable to buyers. Because right now it's like, why should I buy an Octa when I can get, if I want a V8, I can get this for a lot less. But, you know, as soon as the V8 is gone, then the mind math will change. Then it'll be like, well, do I want an inline six or do I want a V8? Yeah, see, it's not slow. This has got plenty of power, but the inline six doesn't really feel any slower when you're getting on it. And then I just drove an Octa before this, and I can tell you the Octa blows this out of the water when it comes to acceleration. I mean, the Octa is absolutely insane with the acceleration. It has so much power, so much torque. Definitely one of the crazier powertrains out there. I hate auto hold. You can turn it off. It's one of those features in modern cars that if manufacturers got rid of it, I would not mind. I would not mind at all. So let me know your thoughts on this. Like I said, personally, I'm okay with it, and I hope that it leads to Land Rover selling more Octas, because, again, I think that if more people drove the Octa and realized what it is, then they would buy it. I think that it's one of those things where not enough people are really looking at that car. It's very underrated in the luxury SUV world. So if you want to get a supercharged V8, you got to get one now. I do think that the D90 V8, I think that long term that's probably going to be a collectible in a sense, because it's just whenever you have cars that are weird like that, it's a two-door modern vehicle with a V8. Like, of course it's probably going to be a collectible. These four doors, I think they're going to retain their value decently well. Again, Land Rover's a luxury brand. Every single luxury brand is going to have depreciation. That's just how it works. But I think these V8s are obviously going to retain their value a bit better because they are going away. So, you know, no car is an investment in my opinion, but I think that this is one of those fun vehicles that, and again, especially for Land Rover depreciation, it's going to be a bit kinder to you long term.